Greetings, sports lovers and Dakar fans. Today is Sunday. It's DirTiSweat episode number 16, Gary.
Voila!
And we're a little bit more relaxed. I see that your location services have done us an amazing job. We're right next door to, and for those of you who hear the noise, you'll understand this. The place is called Brat's Ice Cream Parlor and Sweets. And I think it's quite appropriate. And in the background, they're filming another birth control, planned parenting advert.
No, this is more parent planning thing.
Plan, Gary?
Yeah.
Have you also slowed down and got out of what has been an absolutely, thanks for organising the shade, it's doing my eyes the world of good.
Camera's over there. You don't have to look at me in the sun.
Hello, camera.
Hola, everybody.
Greetings and Benoni. Thank you very much to the Benoni Publicity Association for getting hold of us and inviting us for a tour and thanking us for the kind words we say about probably the most pretty woman in South Africa. They say, the Publicity Association of Benoni.
That's right.
Tells us they come from Benoni. That's really good. So, yesterday, after about 50 hours of racing, Carlos El Matador, Carlos Senior, wins the Dakar, the 40th version of the Dakar.
Motul Dakar. That's the reason I put this on.
But
If
he
it
was
wasn't-
driving
if it wasn't-
a Peugeot.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for Motul
Yeah.
and that product getting behind Dakar, it probably would not have had the amount of coverage that we've been able to give people and what people have seen through other mediums.
Thank you, Motul, for lubricating our way. We have a number of other sponsors that we'd like to thank. Principally Twin Savers for looking after our nose, and some of the others will come to light as we go through and give thanks and celebrate an absolutely awesome event. So, Janelle, last stage yesterday. Gary,
Yes.
focus.
Really.
Last stage yesterday.
Brett, I'm focusing. Don't worry.
It's the 14th stage, number 14, but
Yeah.
actually the 13th that got run. Because
Correct.
remember, cancelled one of the stages.
And a break day.
Yeah, but that wasn't really counted as a stage,
No, we're
so
talking
you just
about
got to
days.
add in the number of days. Don't let technicalities bog us down. It's about the fact. So, Janelle wins a stage. He hasn't won a stage for,
A number of events.
but he's finished. I mean,
Yes.
the boy's done is absolutely amazing. That brings to a total of 6 stages that Toyota Gazoo Racing SA wins out of the 13, and Peugeot wins 7. And interestingly, I blinked for a moment, and I've actually got to focus here. So Janelle wins. Peter Hansel is second. Nasser is 1 second behind Peter Hansel, and then Alvarez and Rob. Saints cruises into 9th, and if I look away, will you change again? Saints cruises into 9th, seals it, and I actually, I've got this sort of mixed feeling, Gary. One, I was hoping that one of our cars would win. And the other is, you look at a guy, he's a young 55, he's won 2 World Rally Championships, he's won 50-something odd rally stages. This is his second Dakar that he's won. You've got to look at it and say, well, you know what, the guy, he finished.
Put this on.
And
Shade your eyes a little bit. No, shade your eyes a little bit.
Oh, Gary, thanks, man. That is so cool. So he finished,
That's
and
what camaraderie is about.
it's teamwork. Really.
Yeah, Dakar, camaraderie,
it's about teamwork.
endurance.
It's about getting to the. I almost feel like we've gone through an endurance. 15, whatever it is.
16
days.
Yeah.
Next to Brat's. I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, so last year's race, and the reason we in particular call this a hard race. Last year, the winner raced for 29 hours. This year was just under 50 hours.
But
So
wasn't that because there was quite a few stages cancelled last year, so therefore it seems odd, but that's the reality.
But yes, that's the reality. But we're talking about this year being a lot harder. There was a lot less wetness.
Yeah.
There was, the first part of it was sand. And interestingly, that's where Nasser won his stage, 2 stages there. So
That's right.
That was kind of an anomaly, but it showed that. Oh, excuse me. This lurgy is not good. So to me, it kind of showed that in the right conditions and without problems and without punches and stuff, But you know what? If my mother had...
No. Family show. Behave.
If my mother was a boy, she would have been my father. If ands and buts for motor racing, they don't count, and should have, would have, could have. It's the facts are the facts. It wasn't, so therefore it isn't, and the Toyota win. But extremely proud as a South African to have two of our local cars, local driver in third, two South African cars in second and third place, which is absolutely phenomenal.
But besides that, of the 40 cars that finished Dakar,
43, Gary.
43 that finished Dakar,
I think.
Okay, 17.
Script screwed up again. Yes.
17 were built in South Africa.
Yeah. That's kind of...
It's close to 50%
kind of
the field that finished.
It's freaking... It's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
And then you take the South Africans on the motorbikes. 4 guys entered in the bikes.
And 4 finished. 100% finish. Well done to all of you.
It's amazing.
No,
The side-by-side,
Yeah.
the winners of the side-by-side were run by South Racing, which is South African, headed up by South African. So that's also Scotty Abrams heads that up. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool where you look at and you see that the level of South Africanness in this race is absolute. And I think it's just, we are tougher and we proper guys. So just to go back, this year the winner, to show the contrast between how hard this race
This
is.
Dakar was.
This 2018 40th edition
Yeah.
of the Dakar, Gary. The winner races and scripting have done such a good job for us. I mean, it's...
So make up your mind. 1 minute's a bad job, now it's a good job.
Well, it is. Now it's good because there was hand notes there and...
Or did I jump the script?
Gary, it doesn't actually matter. We are
What
in
do-
control.
Yeah.
We are in control. That's why today's edition is called Frank.
No, Frank didn't enter the Dakar. It's Frank, because Frank is about exact facts,
As it is,
as much as close to being exact figures.
and we did it our way.
Thank you, Frank.
And the other one is, frankly, my dear,
Right.
I don't give a... Okay.
Family program.
Family program. To all the lovely families out there, keep it strong. So the winner does 3 hours 50 average of racing in the 13 stages that they go through. Last place, Philip Broad and Patrice and Mark, we discussed them yesterday.
Yes.
They've got 141 hours penalties. I mean, it's a lot of penalties. But
Right.
take their penalties away, and they still ended up racing for 154 hours. That's
just over 11 and a half hours a day.
a day. So they spend 3 hours more racing every single day than
Than the
King
winners.
Carlos. So it's unbelievable. So, and that's 11 and a half hours every day. That's racing. It's not
Not liaison.
liaisoning and all
Okay.
the rest of it. So these guys are kind of...
Yeah, because we don't count liaising as travel time when we're talking about the race. Everything is purely the length of a stage and the time it takes to finish a stage, not the liaison and all the other stuff that goes with it.
And let's celebrate some more South Africanness on the bikes. In 85th position and last finisher in the bikes. But he made it to the end. It's Jerry
Yes.
van der Bijl. 97 hours of racing. 58th, Willem du Toit. Awesome. 50...
No,
54th.
55th was Donovan van
You see, they changed the
Langenberg.
font. They went
Yeah.
down to a smaller font. The specification we have is 28. It's not 28. So 54th was Donovan van Langenberg.
That's right.
He's 20 hours behind the winner.
And then
30,
the top South African is David Thomas, coming in fantastic. 36th position. Well done, friend.
Gary, thanks for saving me there. I'll tell you what. So we got 4 South African starters, 4 South African finishers.
100% finish.
It's amazing.
bike.
I just want to go through some of the top 10. I think it's kind of important. And as we go through, Gary, let's talk about 1 or 2 items that have caught our eyes behind the scenes. So Carlos and Lucas Cruz
Yeah,
in the Peugeot
yeah.
3008 DKR. It's not a standard car. It's
A
racing,
DKR.
which I assume
Dakar.
stands for Dakar.
Racing.
I assume so.
Dakar.
Because it went far in Dakar. I can like to have won. But now, the reason teams go racing is to sell stuff. And Henry Ford, back in America, greatest country in the world, where everything happens.
That's only if you trump.
In America. Well, it was great then, and then anyway. Henry Ford said that you win on Sunday and you sell on Monday.
Monday, correct.
So now we can expect special winner stickers for Peugeot throughout the world, and I think it's fantastic. We should celebrate this the marketing success of motorsport, because without manufacturers and sponsors, hey, it's dead. Then,
just before you go on, talking about Ford, and this is thanks to one of our viewers, Roy Prando. Thank you very much. But 2 South African built Fords, built by Neil Woodridge, and that came in 14th and 33rd place, finishing the Dakar. So that's 2 Fords, South African built Fords. And by the way, just to give you the heads up, Roy, we did include it in the 17 of the cars finishing Dakar are built in South Africa, which included those 2 Fords.
Absolutely. So it includes the Fords, the Ranger. So in 7th position, another Ford, but not a built in South Africa Ford. So that was Martin Prokop and young.
That was in that Ford F50.
In an F50. Yeah. And, to finish 7th, Prokop has done a couple of races. He's done it in a Mini. He's done reasonably well. But to bring your own team, run by Martin Prokop Racing, and to just hang in there with the best in the world, I think it's absolutely admirable. Nasser Al-Adia and Matthew Baumel. Matthew, congratulations for, I think it was Wednesday was his birthday.
Yes.
So he's still, well under 30. And he'll claim that all day long. 4th, Stephen Peter Hansel and Jean-Paul Cotteret. And I felt sorry for Peter Hansel. But again, there's so many people you feel sorry for, and we'll get to, no, not sorry, but like, it wasn't lacquer, not a lacquer thing, but we'll get there. Jakob Przgonski. My favorite.
I'm glad you're getting that right.
Yeah, and Tom Colesall in a Mini John Cooper Works. So this is effectively the Mini. It's the size of a blooming X3 raid car. It's got the 6-cylinder inline diesel engine.
Yeah.
It sort of looks like a Mini-ish.
Very close looking to the way the Peugeots were designed.
No, man, that's the buggy. We get to the buggy, and
okay.
Hervinen had the buggy, and that's because Mini were the ones that they were running 2 specs of cars. The normal
one is a
four-wheel
4x4,
drive, and the other one was.
So you're talking about the 4-wheel drive?
Yeah, this was Przgonski was in the buggy, and then Sheikh Al Qasimi and Xavier Panseri, they had a 2018 spec Peugeot. It's amazing what.
That must be one of the. That must be one of the only customer Peugeots out there.
Yeah, but he got it, and I think he did all right. And then Martin Prokop and Jan Tomanecki in the F150 we discussed.
Right, yeah.
And then Peter van Merkstein and Mr. Martin in a Toyota IRS truck. So remember the three specs.
Yeah,
and then,
that's right. Yeah.
Then 9th position was Sebastian Halpern and Eddie Polenta in a Toyota Hilux solid axle car. And then 10th, top 10, after rolling and waiting 3.5 hours and getting pulled out, in fact, by Halpern and Polenta in the solid axle car was Lucio Alvarez and Rob Howie in the IRS car. So in the top 10, you've got all 3 generations of the Hiluxes, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and they built here in good old-fashioned South Africa, just down the road.
And Rob's going to have to go and build some more. So stage winners, NASA wins 4 stages. He won the most, which is
really
kind of impressive.
Shows you how when you're concentrating on all the other things that are going on, you lose track of how many he's actually won. Having won the most stages for the Dakar is pretty good.
Our research department does such a great job. They just come up and they give us all the figures. And we basically, our job's easy. We just got to sit and talk crap and look at their notes in 28 font when they do it in 28 font. So, and then Peter Hansel won 3, King Carlos 2, and then 1 each for Cyril, Bernatin, Brink, Sebi, and Janil. So, brings me to my disappointment of the rally. I've got 2.
Yeah.
One was heartbreaking, and the other one is irritating. The irritating one first is the fickleness of the fans and the know-it-allness of some of the supposed motorsport fans where, now, just making pronouncements on what a specification of car to win the Dakar is. I think a lot of oaks. Somebody once said, never argue with a fool. Because
that's why him and I never argue on this show.
Anyway, so that's the one disappointment. The irritation. The disappointment for me was the bang that we heard here from Bernard ten Brink when he was annihilating everybody in that stage. It would have just been fantastic for him to win another. And I mean, he was on maximum attack after solving their sensor issues the day before. And I think it would have been just, I always like when people succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a guy came along and he's a nice guy. And anyway, so that was my. What was your high and low, Gary?
Well, going into the early first couple of stages and understanding how the rules were set up, I wouldn't say it was a low. I'd say it a little bit disappointing because I felt that these fancy things that certain cars were allowed and other cars are not allowed, like the automatic inflation and deflation devices. I believe if the South African guys and North African cars, all the 4x4s, and that sort of thing, they would not have gone through so many tyre problems. And they weren't punctures. And what I mean by that, the tyres were coming off rims, so the guys have to put them on, and it's a bit of a problem. So that caught a lot of the 4x4s out. And I think it goes for all 4x4s, even the American-built ones. Okay. Sorry?
Catering, letting us down?
Yeah, I mean, this fantastic catering department, not once have they sent us a sandwich. Our catering department.
Yeah, I know. Whole Speed did it.
Yeah.
And where are the cool drinks? It's hot today. It's officially 43 in 4 ways.
Are you baking? I mean, cooking? No. That doesn't going to work.
No, it's hot. The sun is pounding down on me. You put me in the sun. Or was that production department again?
No, it's to hide the ducks behind you.
The ducks?
Yeah. Shoulder.
Oh, Gary, you did it.
I'm in trouble. I'll take it.
Gary spoke to cameraman. I think it's marvelous. We're back where we started. This sort of brings us kind of around
Full
to the
circle.
roots. What's going to happen next year for Dakar?
Yeah.
A little bit early. There's a meeting next week in FIA land where they will go through and have some more discussions about the future of Dakar, and because Dakar is run by the ASO.
That's correct.
And motorsport by the FIA, and ASO have really kind of made their own rules, and the FIA have rubber stamped them. And there was the cross country. It was a cup, so it wasn't a championship, and they now want to move to a cross-country championship.
Okay.
Which means that the FIA they've got to make the rules and they've got to sign them off. So there's a whole lot of discussion.
Could that possibly mean that some of the other big endurance events, off-road endurance events that take place, like the Silkway Rally and all that sort of stuff, the North Africa, the Moroccan Rally and all, do you think they may all become part of this championship? So a lot of the teams that only do Dakar now can actually go into 3 or 4 rallies in a year for a world championship?
I think they will.
That's exciting.
Silkway and then Morocco.
Yeah.
These are normally used as warm-up events for teams wanting to do the final specs for Dakar.
Yeah.
I would love for the Botswana race in our cross-country championship, the desert,
to become part of that.
Oh man, can you imagine how cool that would be?
Well, it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, Desert 1000 takes place over normally 2 days, but there's only 1 day of real racing. But imagine going to play in the Botswana desert, let's say for 3 days or 5 days.
I think it could be awesome, but we can only dream. So
Yeah.
there's talk of number one, there's calendar issues, and number two, there's specification issues. There's a whole lot of talk about buggies and the future of buggies, and it looks like, and the buggies are just the 2-wheel drive cars with bigger wheels and suspension. It looks like they're going to have to run at the same weight as 4x4s. And then there's a discussion about what the motors are going to be, and whether diesels are still cool, and whether normally aspirated are cool, or whether we go turbo, so all of that is up in the air. There's a whole lot of speculation about it. I would love for them to find some kind of a spec or some way of everybody having around about a 5 litre to come to a decision, because you can't wait months to make this decision.
That's right.
If it hasn't already been made, you've got to start building and
strategizing and planning
and developing for next year.
That's right.
There's out of the 23 cars, there were 3 different makes of Toyota Hiluxes, models of them, evolutions. So how far do you take the mid-mounted car? Because for sure, already in the brains of the rocket scientists in the shed, there will be the next development of the mid-mount car.
That's
so does the mid-mount car become their bread and butter and they phase out the solid axle? I don't know, but that's part of motorsport. You got to wait. You got to be patient. You got to wait and see what goes on. Shout out to Henny de Klerk and Gerbrand Schutter in the South Racing Run Amarok. They finished in 28th, which first race, and it was kind of a year ago that they decided to go and race. That off-road racing and Dakar was cool, and they had a structured program. They bought a car, found somebody proper to run it, and then they ran in the South African Cross Country Championship, then put it in a box, went to Dakar and finished it. Sounds super easy. Also got a shout out to KTM. Sorry.
Just before you go, just to everybody out there, I do notice that there is a bit of a buffering from the uplink as well. We do apologize. We're not in control of the 4G signal, and every now and then gets addition. But it will end up being saved, so if you do lose us in that, I will have a full version of it, and I'll repost it as soon as we can after the show. Get a one, no boop.
Sorry, we just part of doing Frank Sinatra. Doing it our way.
Lip sync.
Is Gary and I had the idea for doing. Sorry, let's go back to. We'll talk to that at the end. I needed to mention the winners of the bike, and Mr. Walkner from Austria on an Austrian bike.
That's right. Yeah.
Wins the Dakar again. I think it's the 17th or 18th time that KTM have won, which. As if you Honda or
good for the brand.
Anybody else, you've got to be wondering, what do you need to do? Look, Honda's had a lot of luck with broken legs and collarbones and stuff.
Bad luck. They had a lot of bad luck with broken legs. You don't have good luck with a broken leg.
No, I said luck.
Oh, bad or good?
It's just luck. Luck it happens. It's like that brown stuff when it hits the fan.
You know who can answer that, and they're both watching us?
Who?
Joey Evans and Ted Barbier. Okay, so thanks, guys.
No,
for
hold
watching.
on. No. They are biased as hell. Because when I said something about a KTM to Ted, not to Ted, to Joey, he said, oh, well, of course the KTM won it. I mean, okay, so I suppose, of course, the KTM won it because KTM apparently is the best bike in the world. End of commercial. So Kevin Benavides is the Honda boy. He comes in second, and then Toby Price, Australian. Cool to see Toby Price do a shoey or a booty, fill up his sweaty boot on the podium and drink it. Anyway, what else did our other notes that came in here, Gary? It's just like we've got to the end of the script. I've enjoyed this. It's been kind of epic in terms of every day trying to do normal stuff, work stuff that pays the bills, and then trying to do some work to catch up. But it's actually been quite easy because it's so easy to get caught up and be part of this epic event.
But you asked me earlier on about my highs and lows. I didn't give you my highs, but I've got two highs. Number one, we had nearly 50% of the cars finished in the field built in South Africa. And number two, this is crazy, guys. You probably won't believe me, but it is a fact. You know that we've had in excess of 42,000 people watching our video. 42,000 people.
40 or 42?
42,000 views of the videos we've done on DirTiSweat.
That's kind of cool.
And that's a high for me.
Because that's your speciality is social marketing and stuff like that.
But that takes us to where a certain gentleman yesterday, you might know him, Brian Hastings, asked us a question.
He's got the same surname as me. What a coincidence.
Okay, so Brian, I did send you a type in an answer, but I think we're just going to tell the world anyway.
What are we going to tell the world, Gary?
Our endeavor is to carry on with this type of concept, but we're going to go very much into South African motorsport, superbike racing, endurance racing, and hopefully we'll crack some of the South African endurance championships, off-road endurance championships, and even some of the bike enduros.
Yeah.
And we will be going behind the scenes into guys' workshops, having discussions with mechanics and riders and team owners, and try and keep all of you out there more up to date with the DirTiSweat concept of going behind the scenes and finding out what happens.
DirTiSweat?
Kela?
We're not going there.
No?
Because I got a letter from legal.
Yeah?
We got a legal department here who are on the ball, you know, in terms of recommendations and all of that we give out over the air. They send out bills. So Benoni Publicity Association have already agreed to pay over huge sums of money for the fantastic work we do in uplifting Benoni.
I hope this is not going to be like one of those other offences.
So I'm not allowed.
Payments will happen.
No. We're not allowed to discuss the origin of the name. It's copyright written. They're sworn to silence. Gary, we're not allowed to. It shall not be
Revealed.
said, except that they are three of our favourite things in life. The idea with this lot is not to, and today was an exception where we went down through results.
Yeah.
Results are not, well, they are important. You race to win. I mean, that's the real reason. But the results part, there are many journalists who scrape the web and results sheets for results, and anybody can get that.
Yeah.
We want to try and bring a little bit of flavor. Why is the steak medium rare? Why does the Toyota sound so lacquer in terms of its exhaust sound? Why does a buggy work? And how does, on an endurance race, let's go and have a look at the pit stop practice of some of the top teams, or lack of pit stop practice of some of the top teams. Why do Graham Nason the other day was telling me an interesting thing where they put an extra tank in the car. So they work out in 3 hours racing you need so many litres, and that they fill it up brim full, and then at the pit stop they just put a tiny bit of litres in so the car keeps running, because you lose
What they call a splash and dash.
You lose less time by lugging an extra 40-50 kilos around.
That's right, yeah.
Than you do by trying to fill it in. So these are all the kind of things that we want to try and have a look behind the scenes, and who does what and why and what's coming up, and a bit of fun.
And we will keep you informed. We are going to be having some interviews with some of the guys that have been over there, with some of the boys inside Toyota, some of the bike riders. A couple of our guests have promised to try and help us to get these interviews together. So stay tuned. We'll let you know a good 24 hours to 48 hours in advance. And let's try and get this all together. So you will see us again shortly.
That's it for today, for Sunday, for the weekend.
Frankly, my dear, I'm out here. Adios.
Cheers, guys, and thanks a lot for your support and watching. We'll catch you later on with the next little bit of snippet of behind the scenes.